through 10 o'clock this morning. So if you are in Senator Sears' district, Senator Renner's district, or Senator Kitchell's district, if you can send them a quick note saying thank you for your vote. Please continue to sustain the governor's veto. Just shoot it off rather quickly. You can reach out to any one of the three of us in the office. We can get you the email address if you need it. But before 10 o'clock would be helpful. Committee action this week. There are 3 bills that we will be focusing on mainly, but then there's always the periphery that we'll be watching as well. So I expect that the House Human Services Committee will be voting on the flavored tobacco ban bill S18 on Thursday. We'll be taking up committee discussion and reviewing the 3 amendments that I sent out on Friday in our Friday update. I received some responses about a couple of those amendments. One amendment would change the entire layout of any stores that sell. They consider it ready to drink, but I mean, you can crack open a bottle of beer or a can of beer, and that can be considered ready to drink. So anyone who sells alcohol would have to essentially keep their alcohol in locked shelving units or refrigerators behind a counter. That's unrealistic. I don't think that provision will go anywhere, but again, you never know. So we'll keep an eye on that. As far as the flavored tobacco ban, it's hard to tell where they're headed. They said they were going to narrow it. I'd be surprised based on their conversations over the last couple of weeks if they were going to narrow it as much as they were alluding to. The committee is very divided on whether they want to ban menthols. I think the committee as a whole is mostly supportive on banning vape products. But we will continue to watch those conversations closely and alert members as soon as possible when anything develops. Again, the committee is divided on menthol. I think they're supportive of banning vape at this time, but we will continue to watch it. Captive audience bill. Let me stop there. Does anyone have any questions? No, that was a lot of info. So happy to talk about bottle bill or the flavored tobacco ban. Feel free to unmute and jump right in or raise your hand. Nothing? Okay, so I'll keep going. House General Committee will be taking up the captive audience bill. That's S102. The bill did pass the Senate rather swiftly last year. The captive audience bill essentially prohibits employers from mandating that employees participate in meetings discussing certain issues, whether they're political or otherwise. If we're talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion, that could be considered a political discussion, and employers would no longer allow you to require. Employers would not be allowed to require employees to participate in those discussions. So if someone is claiming that they have been excluded, or if they have been discriminated, then you can't have a meeting discussing that with staff. We're watching that closely. I anticipate that it will move. We will be testifying along with other business community groups. But if you have any situations that you have been in that you can share with me, any evidence, any anecdotal experiences, please send me an email and help me represent you all better. Finally, the privacy bill is up. This has been a much anticipated piece of legislation. Representative Mike Marcotte is the chair of the House Commerce Committee. He is also a member of Vermont Retail and Grocers Association, but he has shared with me that he anticipates and expects the bill to move. Right now, the bill, as I understand it, has all of the bad pieces of privacy legislation from across the country. So I anticipate that there will be much discussion within the committee before the bill moves forward. We are working with a couple of members, but again, any of the larger retailers that can share their feedback, I'll send an email to all of you with the most recent bill version, and any and all feedback would be helpful in helping me again represent you. I know a couple of you are on and interested about that bill, so happy to take any questions or feedback now.
Erin, I'm sure you've heard this, but basically we're trying to steer our state legislators towards Connecticut, the law they have. It's not perfect, but it's better than all the other things we've seen out there. We're doing it now in Connecticut. So I'm sure you've heard that, just FYI.
Yes, thank you, Judy. And that also reminds me that I have been in touch with Curtis, the retail executive in Maine, as well as a couple of privacy lobbyists that represent clients across the country. We've been in touch as well. And I know Jeremy, you're on, I see you, and I'm sure Davey, you're following it. Jeremy, I owe you a response to the email, but yes, we are watching it. We are coordinating with other business community lobbyists. We will be testifying. There was one more thing that just flew out of my mind. Any other feedback, questions, comments?
Hey, Erin, Jeremy, do you expect, are they working on a new draft, or are they just kind of starting again from where they left off? From the discussion.
So my understanding is that there is a new draft out. I will be honest, I did not have a second yesterday to see if it was posted. As soon as I do find that link, I'll talk to Marcotte when we hang up, actually, and see where that link is and send it off to you. My understanding again is that it is a new draft, and they will do a walkthrough of that new draft. I think it's on Thursday this week. And then next week, I anticipate there will be extensive committee discussion.
I saw that. I think what I had flagged for you is a Senate bill. Do you get a sense there's coordination happening, or is it a little too early there?
So in Vermont, there's not necessarily two bills moving at once. It starts in one. You know, they'll have companion bills in both the Senate and the House, but one of those bills will move, and it will start in the House. So they're looking at the House bill. The House Committee on Commerce will mark that up and move that. I don't know if it will need to go to Judiciary or other committees before it goes to the floor for a vote. But you know, it does have a long way to go before the end of the session. We've got what 15 weeks left, you know, so
yeah,
got a ways to go.
Okay, great, thanks.
Yeah. Other questions? Any concerns? Like I said, there are several bills that we're watching on the periphery. Retail crime. Retail crime, as of last week, it looked like the committee wasn't moving anywhere. And then I was pleasantly surprised to see that the committee is taking more testimony on the retail crime bill. If you have any interest in testifying or sending testimony, please let me know. It's in my mind to reach out to members, creating some type of an email campaign to the committee, telling them why it's important that we move forward. But as of last week, they all seemed very tepid in their desire to move forward. So I am doing my best here, trying to knock on all of their doors and make sure that they're aware that it really is a problem and we need to do something. But again, I need as many, as much data, as much information from you all. If you can send me an email with any data you have, or I'm happy to send the list of committee members with their emails out to you all, or if you're interested, let me know, and you can send it directly to the committee. But any feedback, any participation in the discussion would be most helpful in order for us to see any type of movement on H 534. Okay, I feel like I've been rambling for 15 minutes. Any questions, any thoughts? Any bills that I didn't touch on that you might be interested in? Any issues? Nothing? Okay. One piece that I would love to hear from you now about is 9 a.m. versus 11 a.m. calls for legislative update. I just want to make sure that we're getting as many people. This looks like a much smaller group than the 11 o'clock, but I know that many of the smaller retailers can't do 11 o'clock. So any feedback?
Either's fine with me, Erin.
Thanks, Judy.
Same here.
Is that Mike? Thanks, Mike.
I've got a preference for 11, but happy to do 9.
Well, that's good to hear, Mark. You're one of the smaller ones. Thanks. Thank you for that.
This time is fine for me, Erin.
Okay. Thanks, Abby.
Either time works for me.
Okay.
Same
All right. Awesome. So maybe what I will do is, or maybe what our office can do is reach out to those members that registered originally and get some feedback. You know, again, I want as much interaction on these calls, as much participation on these calls. Just want to make sure that you all have access to us. Okay.
Erin, this is Eileen.
Yep. Sorry, Eileen, I can't hear you. Can you repeat that?
Yesterday when I emailed you, I had 11 o'clock in my system, not 9, and I happened to look at your report and saw 9. So perhaps other people are in the same position.
The same thing happened to me when I used the automatic scheduler from Zoom. It showed up in both places. I don't know if there's just some funny.
Okay, so maybe what I'll do is I'll jump on at 9 o'clock or 11 o'clock this morning just to see if anybody else jumps on. Eileen, I'm sorry, I didn't receive an email from you yesterday.
Maybe your office did, because I didn't go directly to you. I just went to the BT office one, and somebody did respond to me.
Okay. All right, I'll jump on at 11 again, just to check in with people. We will get it figured out. Okay. Well, if there's no further discussion or no feedback, please reach out to us, Karen, Alyssa, or myself, or if it's easier, just info@VRGA, and one of us will get it. My phone number is also, my cell number is plastered all over the place, so please feel free to shoot me a text or call me on that number as well. Again, it's a busy week, so as things move or don't move, I will do my best to keep this group aware of what's happening. But if there are any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you all for your time.
Thanks.
All right. Take care.
Thanks, Erin.